Hi, Madison. Thank you for allowing me to do this video. I'm Assemblywoman Kimberly Jean-Pierre. I represent the 11th Assembly District in the town of Babylon. I was elected in 2014 and started this journey in 2015. I represent all of my hamlets that I represent are within the town of Babylon. I represent about an average of 129, about 130 actually, thousand household residents. I love my job. I was born and raised in Brooklyn actually, and I came out here in 2005. I got my master's at Stony Brook University, and I didn't come from a background of politics. I actually first thought I wanted to be a journalist, and then I wanted to be an educator, and then I was very intrigued and interested in how we make educational policies. I didn't know where life was taking me. So my brother, I call him the mascot of Stony Brook. He graduated his undergrad and graduate, met his lovely wife at Stony Brook. So we call him the Stony Brook mascot in the family. So he persuaded me to come to Stony Brook, and I never left Long Island. I fell in love with Long Island. And when I was in Stony Brook, I had to do an internship, and I always say internships are the most vital thing you can do. They're important because you get to meet people, and people get to meet who you are, and your skills are developed without pressure of a job, and it leads you to so many ways. So it was either to write a paper or an internship. So I chose the internship route, and I interned for this woman named Marsha Lawfer. She was the first chairwoman of a Democratic committee out on Long Island. She's retired now, but she was very inspirational to me, and she taught me the ropes of how local politics is so important. We think of our president, our vice president, our congressional reps are important, but our town council people, our school PTA, our school board members, our state senators, our state assembly members, our county and city council people are much more important because they have the laws that improves our quality of life, our day-to-day, whether it be the roads you drive on, the park you play at, and more importantly, as a state representative, the quality of your education lies on our hands as local representatives. And I learned that working for her because I worked on a 2007 campaign that had to do with a lot of local people out in Brookhaven, and I fell in love with politics. I didn't have the government side yet, and so one of my classmates introduced me to we call him Presiding Officer DuWayne Gregory, and he was a chief of staff. He was someone that actually he was the head and ran the office for our local county legislator. And in that office, I spoke to people on the phone, and I helped people when they had issues with making sure their lights were on and they didn't have the finances to pay the light bill, or to make sure that their parks were clean, their streets were safe. There was a stop sign, a tree fell, and that for me is important. And for me, that was sort of a fulfillment that I got. So since then, I've worked in local government offices. I worked in his office, and I remember I didn't have the family background of politics or government, and I actually came from a family that, you really didn't navigate well working with government. You just knew what the laws were and you followed them. But you didn't, if you had an issue, you didn't know who to go to. And I think that's why it's important that people connect with their local representatives, and local representatives connect with the people to show people what they're there for and how can they help them. So I run my office as a grassroots office. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 employees, 1 in Albany, 5 here. And we do community events. We're like a local event, and we're a very active office. I believe that we have an opportunity to connect people and change lives. And it's really great that you're doing this video for you and to all the girls and the troop and all of your peers to understand how important government is and the breakdown of government and the people of government. I think that government should look like what people look like, which is diversity, having not only men but women, having not only black but white, Puerto Rican, Hispanic, Asian, people that represent the population. And I think that we learn from each other that way. And I could say that in the state legislature, as a state representative, I'm responsible for ensuring public. Remember I talked about how I wanted to get into public policies, maybe be an educated analysis. But as a legislator, I'm able to support, introduce legislation that is very important for public schools. I'm a big supporter of public schools. I'm a product of public education. I remember I started off at PS 135 in Brooklyn, and went on to high school, junior high school. And I think that no matter what community you come from, that you should have a quality education. So as a legislator, that is one of my top priorities, is to make sure that education is fair across the board, and it doesn't matter what community you come from, because there are hardworking families in each and every community. And as a parent, I have a daughter, she's 3 years old. It's not easy being a parent and being a legislator, but it's very, is an accomplishment that you can make. It's something that you can do as a woman. And we have more and more females, Girls Rock, running for office. So if you're in school, you can run for office in school. I actually was in my elementary, I was president. And in my junior high school, I was president. And in high school, I was vice president. And then in college, because I needed to be involved, I started a chapter, an engineering chapter, and I had no interest in becoming an engineer. But I did learn a lot, and I got to travel. I met people. Remember I talked about internships, but it gave me an opportunity to broaden my network and know how to speak in front of people, not be shy, and that's how it starts. So this that you're doing here is kudos to you, is great, and you're gonna share with your peers, and you'll be surprised. A lot of adults don't know what their politicians do, or don't even know the different levels of government that governs them and you. So this is kudos to you, and I love what I do. It's 5 years, and I'm excited about. We're closing the summer, and right now we're getting ready for session. So our session calendar in Albany is from January to June, and that's the legislative portion where we introduce bills, pass bills, and from February to April 1st, which is when our budget is due, so that's when we pay all the bills for the state. So right now we're meeting with groups that are looking for money, and groups that are trying to push an issue for a law. Like I just met with today a group of elementary and one junior high school girl, and they just did the Ocean Hero boot camp, and they went up to Canada for 3 days and learned about how to protect our earth. And so I meet with groups like that who are very interested in making sure legislation is passed or bringing monies to an issue, to push an issue. So I love my job, and thank you for thinking of me and including me in your process in your documentary. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you.